Hey guys, Jamie here at Thor Off-Road, and with all the options that we have for our trucks, suspension, bumpers, lights, all the things that we pick to make our trucks look really cool, today we want to talk about tires. Tires are probably one of the most important things that I think probably gets underrated. Like that's the most important thing. It's the thing that touches and contacts the ground wherever you're taking this thing, on-road, off-road. So we want to talk about the choices that you're going to make, how to pick the right tire for your vehicle, and make it look great too. So I'm going to start with that. A lot of us pick tires that look great, and that's fine. But what you need to understand is that the tire that you think looks the best might not actually be the tire that you need. So today I brought in our tire specialist, Matt Lowry from Hesselbein Tire. And what he's going to do is he's going to kind of go through some of the technical jargon that you see on the side of the tire that you may or may not understand. And we're going to try to make sense of all of that. And then we're going to go through some other things on these tires. But Matt, tell us a little bit about the numbers on the side of the tire, what that means to guys when they're choosing the tire for their pickup.
Yeah, sure thing, Jamie. Let's start with the actual sidewall, right? So the big rave these days is to go with a flotation size tire versus a metric, which is a 35, 12, 50, 20 flotation size. It equates to 35 inches tall, 12.5 inches wide on a 20-inch rim. The metric conversion for that is a 315, 60, 20. Looks different on the sidewall, but it's actually the exact same tire within a very minor detail. But beyond the sizing, we have load range capacity. We also have speed rating. These numbers are put in place by the tire manufacturer to represent the maximum amount of weight that a tire can handle under the PSI that it's registered to be inflated at. Also, the maximum speed that the tire can handle as far as rotations and heat are concerned before it actually fails. So, if you look on your tire here, you have on this Nitto Ridge Grappler, you have a small version of a 37, 12, 50, 22 on a 127Q. The 127 is actually going to be your load rating. The Q represents the speed rating, which is how fast that tire is built to go before it actually exceeds that and fails.
So when the guys are picking tires for their truck, Matt, like let's take a Super Duty for example. It's probably the most common truck that we work on, and probably the one that guys are upsizing their tires the most because it's easy to do. The 37 12 50 18 versus the 37 13 50 18. Now these are two of the most common sizes, and in a very common tire like the Nitto Ridge Grappler. The tire rating on the 1250 is actually a 128 Q. The 1250 is a 124 Q. A lot of guys like to run the 1350, and we know that it looks great. The stance is good. Some guys want some more width if they're going off the pavement all the time. They want to lower the tire pressure down. So tell us a little bit, if a guy was to choose a tire and he picked one that didn't meet the weight requirement of that truck, what does that mean from a tire manufacturer standpoint?
Well, let's address first the fact that the 1250, a smaller tire, holds more weight than the 1350, a larger tire, right? So most people don't realize this, but the tire actually itself does not hold the weight of the vehicle. It's the air inside the tire that holds the entire weight of the vehicle, right? So the higher the pressure rating, the more weight that it's going to carry. The more condensed of a chamber that you have for air, the higher weight capacity. On a larger tire, you're not going to be able to carry as much weight. But that being said, if you're driving a Super Duty and it requires a 125Q, and you go with anything underneath that, what you're doing is you're taking a little bit of liability into your own hands, right? The manufacturer has designed this tire. There's been a lot of research and development put into this tire to make sure that it's being run at a particular PSI with a particular max weight capacity. GVRW, gross vehicle weight rating, is something that is put together by the vehicle manufacturers. And what they do is they assume that at some point in time during the life of your vehicle, you're going to have a full tank of gas, you're going to have 6 adults in the vehicle with you, and you're going to have a full capacity load behind your truck, right? So with those 3 things in mind, they want you to run that tire at a certain weight, capability to run it at a certain weight.
Great. All right. Okay. Yeah. I was going to mention that. If you guys are looking at those 2 tires, understand that 1350 is only a 50 psi tire, and the 1250 is actually a 65 psi max tire, meaning that's the max amount of air that you can put in it. So to go to Matt's point, the air is what's holding the weight. 50 psi versus 65 psi, not hard to figure that out. That just helps you kind of navigate through all those numbers, you know, the speed rating, the load rating, what the max psi is on that tire, and what you're going to do with it. So with that being said, do we see trucks on Instagram, on Facebook with 1350 8-inch wheels all the time? Sure. And you know, the answer to that is these guys aren't towing, and they aren't maxing out the payload of that truck, and so they feel comfortable running it. But I think the point that we're trying to make here is that if you're going to do that, understand all the liabilities that come with that. That tire manufacturer isn't going to warranty that tire if something were to fail. If you get abnormal tread wear, and they're not going to be able to help you. Lo and behold, and we hope this doesn't scare anybody, but if something was to happen and cause damage to something else, well, that failure is going to be due to neglect from not putting the right tire on that truck, and you will be liable for whatever happens. So keep all those things in mind when you're choosing a tire, 1250 versus 1350 on an 18-inch wheel. We deal with that a lot, so I thought I'd bring that specific example up about the Super Duty. So let's move on to like tread designs and picking the right tire for where you're going to take the vehicle. So now we're talking about, you know, we're all building these trucks for something. So if it's going to be on the road, off the pavement, I'm going to be towing, I'm not going to be towing. I live in an area where it snows versus here in Texas where we never see it. What do the different tread designs do for different environments that people could take away from this video and help them choose a tire?
Sure. All right, so pretty basic stuff, right? AT, all-terrain. This is something that you can use that's designed to be used on both highway and street applications, as well as a little bit of light-duty off-road application. Some light dirt and sand. You're going to have some capabilities there, right? Moving on into the RT, which is a ridge grappler style tire. It's kind of the best of both worlds. It's a half all-terrain. It's a half mud tire. It's more aggressive than the all-terrain. It's not as aggressive as an MT. Most of the RTs aren't going to be as comfortable on the highway as an all-terrain would be, but it gives you the look that everybody's going for these days. It looks really tough, it looks good, and you can use it off-road and on highway still. MT, mud terrain. This is a tire that's designed to be used in thick mud, off the road often. It's got a lot of rubber to void ratio. So what that means is that in between each tread block, there's going to be more void so that you have more biting edges in off-road conditions. So if you're going in mud, there's more biting edges to grip onto the mud to make that tire more effective in that circumstance.
Perfect answer. I think that you guys get the gist. You know, if you're driving a half-ton or a Toyota and you're gonna put a 35 on it, you know, if you want to jump up to a 10-ply for some durability, great. A 12-ply, if you do that, you can carry more weight, sure. But if you just spent, you know, thousands of dollars on shocks and suspension and sway bars, I think you're going to give back a bunch of the ride quality you just paid for by choosing the wrong tire with too high of a rating. So give and take on that. Again, here at Throw Off Road, it's all about being purpose-built. We hope that you liked the video. We want to make sure that we put some more of these out. Please hit the subscribe button. And also, if you have any questions, something we didn't answer on this video, which I'm sure there's going to be some, make sure and ask it on the video so that all the other viewers can see it. That'll make the video way more effective, and everybody can get some more knowledge out of this. The idea is for us to give you all the knowledge you need to make the right choices without having to scour the internet, without having to hit Google 900 times. So please, you got a question, ask it. Hit the subscribe button because we're going to put some more videos up like this, and I think you guys are going to really love it. Thanks. Jamie here at Throw Off Road. Thanks, Matt. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you, brother.